Are you ready for the Low Blows Network? Every Wednesday on the Low Blows Network, the Low Blows team are at hand to break down, analyze, and make fun of all things pro wrestling. Hosted by former pro wrestler Rick Nash. I think the only reasonable thing we can do now is turn John Cena heel.
Selfie with me fucking dog.
Banned from Nigeria. I will be talking to the government tomorrow morning. YouTube star Corporate King.
This elephant has 4 legs. Joe Russell's 4 legs. Joseph Stalin, if he had 2 more legs.
Bonesaw rips off his shirt, yeah, and it says, "Shuck your law, big dirty tricolour."
And the Queen of Irish Wrestling, Katie Harvey.
I won't once to sign, just CM Punk.
So embarrassed. CM Punk.
It's Low Blows.
Man City fans were left spitting venom. Jesus, I'd have hated to have been around so point at this stage. After dominating their game against Spurs on Saturday, only to have VAR rule out what looked to be a late Gabriel Jesus winner to leave the result at 2-2 on a hectic Saturday evening Premier League game. But guys, as we get kicked off here, by the way, the best part to watch the match, so much so we decided we're going to go downstairs and we're going to tape in here, and not just because they booked up Low Blows HQ. So apologies for the background noise, apologies if you hear a bit of a hum in the background. But guys, we get kicked off here on another edition of Low Blows. Rick Nash, Corporate King, Katie Harvey in the house as always. Guys, what wrestling moment in history would you use VAR to reverse?
Hang on, did you say that match on Saturday evening?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, that explains a lot. I was really hungover Saturday, right? And Phil's like, I'm just going to go watch the match and I'll come back later. And I was like, cool. But he came back like much earlier than expected. Usually if he goes to watch a match, he's out for hours afterwards. Yeah. And I was like, oh, was the match not good? And he's like, the bar wouldn't put it on. I was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, I didn't really see much of it. I was like, okay. And then like he just changed the subject and wouldn't talk about it. And I was like, you're home early? Yep. Just came home to see you. But like the way he said it, I knew that wasn't true.
Right.
So obviously some shit went down.
Shit went down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's why. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm not after landing Phil. Like, geez, Phil.
No. It all makes sense now because like I knew he wasn't home early to see me, so at least now I have context for it.
Rest of the moment that you'd use VAR to reverse.
Like go back in time and fix.
Yeah, well, you'd just be like, wait, the referee is actually, I'm going to check that and I'm going to go back and let's just start from the start again.
Grapple games. There's literally no other answer, is there? I would just go back and like, I don't know, like, is that what VAR does? You can like restart or something?
So what happened was the ref, at the end of possibly the match of the year, and like the peak moment of 6 careers, well 5, I don't know if you'd say that's Jordan Devlin's peak, but like 5 careers peaking at like the same time, everything's coming up perfect, about to be a historic pinfall, and there was just a bit of confusion with the ref, and it just kind of, everyone's like, oh.
Hang on a minute, VAR wouldn't change that though, because the thing is, like, Devlin didn't kick out, did he?
The ref would look, no, so what you'd have to do is the ref would look at it again, realise, confirm what he already knew. Yeah, man.
Oh, so he still wouldn't get the... I don't really know what VAR is.
It's a video replay.
I thought it was a person when I first read this. I thought like VAR was like an extra official that stood on the sidelines with a clipboard and like maybe a little radio set like to alert someone.
In fairness, VAR is mad. Like, if you, like, I'm assuming you're not a football person, no?
No.
Yeah, like VAR is pretty mad. Like that's one of the more things where I'm like, I get why a non-football person would find that weird. It's the same as like the offside rule and stuff. As a kid, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
And I was into football, like.
Yeah, it makes sense. Anyway, Keane, what would you use VAR to reverse?
Like, there's so many different like there's so many, like literally, there's so many matches on one particular night. Any particular night, you could use VAR to like reverse the results because cheating and stuff. So I can't narrow it down to one. But I just think, how funny would it be if Eddie Guerrero's cheating disqualification thing that he used to do got reversed by VAR? That would be so funny. Imagine like he throws a chair up, the wrestler catches it, and he's like, I didn't hit him. So the ref goes to the TV, and he's like, did he hit him? And he just sees Eddie like throwing it. That'd be great. Like,
mate, and do you know what as well? Because it got big in America with the Women's World Cup. Like that'd so be happening if Eddie was still around now. Oh, you made me really sad there. I'm going to go to a match that is one of my go-tos for wrestling in general. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, WrestleMania 17, my favourite match of all time. When Austin turned heel, I just love if a referee came in, just did the VAR symbol, and we're like, are we sure about this though, lads? Are we sure? Because, like, if you get it wrong, the Attitude Era is finished. Because it was kind of the end. Like, a few months later, Triple H was riding a corpse. And it's like, right, I think it all kind of stemmed from that one really bad decision, and then they're riding corpses.
Do you not think that was cool though? Because like at the Attitude Era had a
riding
fucking
corpses.
What? No, not that. No, not that. But Austin turned heel. So I was actually reading something about it today because someone was basically saying it's for an Astro Bros question we have later. Moments that you loved and everyone else hated, but it's like that was the season finale of the Attitude Era, or the final episode, and Vince finally got what he wanted after all the battles and fights. I just think it's a conclusive ending.
Like, no, I it's my favourite match of all time, so I'm not going to go out and slate my favourite match. What I'm going out and just saying is the consequences of it, where, the Attitude Era ended, because, like, if they were going for the most successful period we've ever been in to end, it's a weird business strategy.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, but, like, I love the moment. I love the match. I love the ballsiness of it to turn him heel and Testis. I love that shit. I'm all about heel turns. I'm Mr. Turn John Cena heel. So, I did love the actual moment, but, maybe we should take a second look at it again, is all I'm saying. Guys, it's been a huge week in the wrestling world, and we're going to look back at it all. Jordan Grace versus Jim Cornette. It goes on. And does Katie Harvey have something to say about it? You better fucking believe Katie Harvey has something to say about it. We're also going to talk about Trinity Brawl. We were at the show that had the wrestling world talking this week, and it was like a quiet show that didn't get promoted much. That was just kind of like, just happened, and a lot of people just happened to show up, and we're all there. None of us knew what to expect, and we're going to talk about how that turned out, still to come. Huge week as well. Corbett Keane, your birthday week. You were off at Rev Pro. We're going to be finding out how you got on, and also we have some announcements. I am going to announce the first title defense of the Woke Cians, so that is still to come here on Low Blows. But first, we're going to get started, as always, with the news stories that have been grabbing our attention, and we are going to pick out the stories that we want to talk about and give our lightning hot takes on them, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for
Hot Takes.
Hot takes, guys. Sorry, if you notice any disturbance in it, it's because in the best bar to watch the match is not necessarily the best bar to take the podcast. I don't know where your ping pong ball is. There we go, we got it. Lads have started playing ping pong around us, and it's getting a bit tense. So if you hear Katie scream at any stage, it's because she's got whacked in the head.
I'm so tense right now. I'm so tense.
That's the choice of podcast. Never mind that we realised that, like, there's an office, there's an empty office that we have access to. Like, how many? Like 50 feet from us?
Yep.
Well, we're here now, so let's see this through to the bloody end as these ping pong players get drunker and drunker. Anyway, hot takes. Corbett Keane, get us on their way.
Yeah, my hot take is simply that I don't think... it's basically... I'm very distracted. So I saw people complaining about Goldberg versus Ziggler at SummerSlam a few weeks ago, and the main complaint being that Goldberg should have put Ziggler over, or whatever the fuck it is, right? And basically, I just don't agree with that at all, and I think that old wrestlers need to beat lads that are current in order to still feel like a threat.
Right.
Because if you beat Goldberg once, and then you beat him again, and again, it's like... They're not really beating Goldberg, you're beating kind of the man that used to be Goldberg, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, like, it's the same. I remember Triple H beat Dolph Ziggler once, like, back when he was, like, actively wrestling a few years ago, when he was going for the title with Reigns and stuff. And, like, it's the same thing. I think, I don't view, I don't know, maybe I don't know how you feel about it, but for me, it's like, I don't view an old wrestler who used to, like, win loads of matches as a threat in 2019, unless they're still winning the odd match. So... Yeah, I just don't think old wrestlers should lose to everyone. That's just my stance on it.
That's fair. Katie Harvey, you spoke before about how you like to see like people do the job like when they're winding down their careers. How would you kind of fall in this? Like, or is that just based around maybe the last match, or what's the story? How would you feel about this?
Yeah, like on the last match, I think people should lose on the way out. But like Goldberg's a different thing because I think he was so decimated in that Undertaker match that he had to do this to build back up his legacy, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's a slightly different situation. But in general, like, I would have been annoyed if Trish had won at SummerSlam because, you know, for me, it's just that she's said that's her last match, her farewell match. Like, why not give Charlotte that rub to run with now for the next couple of years?
Yeah.
If she beats Charlotte, like we can all see, Charlotte is a better wrestler. You know, she has achieved more. So it doesn't do anything for either of them if Trish wins that match. Like,
So no, I get that. I agree. It has to be, and especially it's Goldberg. Like, and also as well, I don't think this like is even up for the debate because look at the effects of the booking of that match. Goldberg is now hotter than ever. When Goldberg comes back, it's going to be like, oh, it's Goldberg, this is class, because he gave us that happy memory. And then Ziggler now is actually fucking relevant. We look forward to watching him on Raw. Like when he did that stuff with Miz even the next night, it was really cool. So, I agree. Look at the results, guys. It's not a debate. Anyway, moving on. So, big news of the week that recently came about was NXT has been announced to be moving to the USA Network. And everyone's kind of... It is exciting because obviously it's kind of... it's a direct response to AEW being announced on TNT. It's an aggressive move by WWE. It's a move that makes sense for USA because they obviously wanted to renew SmackDown. They get to keep wrestling this way at a primetime kind of slot. And it's interesting. It makes it a Wednesday Night War. Like, what if NXT goes out, which I think they have a really good shot, and then just NXT, the third brand of WWE, beats AEW in the ratings? That really shits on AEW's whole, like, we're competition legacy if it's, like, the developmental territory beats them. And again, just because of I'm not even saying of better products, like, I just think WWE's reach is so next level to anyone else's that I think NXT have a really good shot at doing that. So it is interesting and it's significant. But it's more just something that I want to point out because it's more just like I'm fascinated in promotion and marketing and social media. Like that's kind of my baby. Like that's what I do. Like even in kind of my day job and stuff like that, I'm fascinated with it, okay? So I love when wrestlers like clearly get the text where it's like, we need you to quote tweet this announcement to make a big deal of it. You see it even over here, you know what I mean? Where it like, you know, the group text goes out and it's like quote tweet, and then you have like 40 people just quoting the same tweet and going, amazing, this is huge, or something like that. And we got to see it with WWE wrestlers, and I just find it really funny to look at, you know what I mean? Because what you get to do is you get to play one of my favorite games, Cliche Bingo. And it's like, guys, play along at home if you want. Shawn Michaels said, thrilled every day to see the progression in these superstars. Cliche Bingo. Now we get to tear the house down every Wednesday on USA. Matt Bloom, beyond proud and excited. The blood, sweat and tears that got us to where we are today has paid off. This is just the beginning. There's 4 cliches in there. Beyond proud and excited, blood, sweat and tears, got us where we are today, and this is just the beginning. So much. All right, who else have we got? John Cena, a long step away from developmental system down in Florida, from the first NXT arrival on WWE Network to a weekly television show on USA Network. Becky's tweet is actually pretty cool. Becky's tweet, I have no problem with Becky's tweet. I think she actually means this. It's like, NXT helped a lot of us to get the spotlight. Now it's time to shine. But yeah, it goes on. And Roman Reigns, this is the last one I want to look at. I just find these funny when it's like just the melodrama of it all, like acting like it's the most significant thing, but all the tweets are happening at the same time. So you're like, you can hear the marketing executive has sent out the group email to all of them and has gone, this is what we need you to do, and be dramatic and quote tweet it, which is what you should do with social media marketing. But like when everyone is dramatic at the exact same second, then it's like, all right, this isn't really real. Roman Reigns, a lot of time Sorry, I'm after skipping down. I'm sorry about that. I botched that. Roman Reigns. A lot of time has been spent in the trenches with the men and women I was in NXT with. It's not war. Like you weren't in high school gyms. You know what I mean? You're in a WWE contract, getting paid and training with Fit Finley and performing in a university. Like it's not the trenches now. You know what I mean? Let's not get ahead. From armories. Oh, come on, again, Full Sail University. It's not a bad venue. To the main event of WrestleMania. We've come a long way, and we'll always be NXT. Hashtag we are NXT. And then you get the Young Bucks just come back and then quote tweet it and just go, "We aren't scared," and it's just like. You kind of are, though. You know, you wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have said that if you weren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't turn around and, like, if I randomly, like, quote tweeted something that Corporate Keane said and go, "I'm not scared of you," you'd be like, well, something made you say that. It's an interesting one. I'm looking forward to it. I just find that stuff really funny. And then Jericho came out and he's like, runners always race faster when someone's right behind them. Gonna be fun to see which team the world decides to join. It's an ill-advised tweet, Chris Jericho. You're probably gonna lose that battle, and then it's gonna be like Pete Dunne beat you in the ratings. So
Didn't
maybe
he try to take credit for NXT as well?
he takes credit for a lot.
Did I not see that during the week where he tried to say something like, "You're welcome"? Like, because remember he was on like the first season, the rookie pro season, and he had like some really good matches, and like I think he said something along them lines as well, because I remember reading that tweet and being like, here, you can't say that you built NXT and AEW and this is your babies going to war.
Yeah.
Like,
no, this is
cool.
It's my children fighting. All right, Chris, calm the fuck down. I just love this stuff. I really enjoyed melodramatic pro wrestlers tweet. It's something, guys, watch out for it. If you see it, now you know to look out for it. Watch out for it. It's really funny. Anyway, moving on. Last but not least, just to give a background, when this story broke, we're like, Katie, I guess you're sorted for a hot take. Explain. Let's talk about it.
Like, I actually don't even know where to start. And I don't even know if I have the start. I'm just trying to look at it here. So, Jim Cornette basically has it in for Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Okay? Because she is a young, successful woman, and she's kind of like, she's very vocal about how she sees pro wrestling and how she wants it to be perceived, and she's all about like not insulting the audience intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, we're all on social media, we all know that people play characters and gimmicks, and she's like, let's not insult that. This is entertainment, you know, let's not pretend it's a legitimate sport. And like, I agree with her to an extent, but not 100%. But like, Jim Cornette has just taken such offense to this and is just being like a horrible old man.
Yeah.
And I just can't get my head around it. But the thing I can't get my head around is not what he's saying, because like, fuck him, he is a horrible old man. We all know he's going to come out with this shit. We all know.
For anyone who hasn't seen it though, like,
yeah, sorry. Yeah. He called her a butterface.
Yeah.
So what butterface basically means is that someone's really ugly and unfuckable. Like, or you'd ride her but her face.
But her face, yeah.
But her
yeah,
face.
yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, like, she'd be really attractive if she didn't have that face. That is a horrible thing to say about someone. Like, it's horrible. And then I had just loads of men piling on, and you know I hate piling on.
Oh shit, she's gonna blow,
like,
guys.
About like all these sexist things about her and what they would do to her if she had a bag over her head and all this. And like, we just need to keep in context, this is a 23-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You know? It's just horrible. But like, here's my thing. This is not actually even what I'm most upset about, right? What I'm most upset about is, we know this is what Jim Cornette is like, and we know this is what he does to get attention. So why are we still feeding into it? Why are we still quote tweeting him? Why are we still replying to him? Why are we still giving him a platform? Just shut him the fuck up by ignoring him. Like, I just don't get why like people are feeding into it.
Are we not feeding into it now?
We are. We are.
I only realised that as we were saying it. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, but I'm also thinking, oh shit,
but like,
it's a catch-22.
Most people are probably like, oh, Katie's just going to give out about what he's saying, the content of what he's saying. Most people are just going to say, oh, Katie's just going to be real tick because he's running down a girl.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I can't wait for Katie to finish up so I can say that we should all just ignore him. Yeah, I guess it's.
And-
I don't know.
But like, and I do think that about him. But like, I deliberately didn't tweet anything about that, or because I'm just like, let's not give him the platform.
Yeah.
Like a bold child. If a child shows a tantrum, ignore it. You know what I mean? If you give them a reaction, they know that's how they get attention.
This is
and
how
they'll
Jim
do it
Cornette
more.
gets love in his
Yeah.
life. This is how he learned to get love and affection as a child. Like, he just says, women are stupid! And then it's like, don't say that. And he's like, this feels good.
But he's only getting like worse with age. Like,
Yeah.
how many times a day do you see someone tag Jim Cornette, be like, oh, what do you think it is?
He spoke
Who
about it
gives
before,
a fuck
yeah.
what he thinks about it? You know he thinks it's shite. Why do you need to be validated by having him reply to it and say, yeah, this is shite?
Hey!
I
He
don't
said the
get
thing!
it. Yeah, it's like, and then you get like, you know, when some fans just get over familiar with who they're tweeting, and like I seen it with like something Joe Cabray tweeted recently, and someone was like, you're right there, Joey. You know, like, I'm like, you don't know him.
There was a lot of that yesterday. There was so much because I'm reading Jim Cornette's Twitter. Yes,
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
this. It was
it's
so
all
funny.
like, it's like, yeah, corny, good point. It's like, corny, are we on nickname terms? Like,
You know what, Jim? I think the thing that they don't understand is that we do. It's like, there's no we. You're not friends with him.
like, I just don't, like, that's my main issue with the whole thing. Like, I just believe there are some people who are so far gone, who are such of a different generation. We will not change their minds no matter how much we argue with them.
Yeah.
So we just need to wait for them to, I don't want to say die because that's harsh, but you know what I mean? Like,
You mean die?
no.
I think
Die
what
is harsh.
I
but
think
you know
what
I
we
mean?
need to do is we need to send Jim Cornette away to a farm with superstar Billy Graham, and we used to, before he passed, we used to send the Ultimate Warrior there occasionally, and just let him frolic with his opinions.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're old, so just go over there and just think what you want to think, because you're not going to be around much longer, and just be you, because you're not going to change. There's no point debating this.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
also, like, he is a character. He's a character at the end of the day, and this is his character now, and he's working everyone.
working a gimmick,
he's
yeah.
working us all,
Yeah.
and it's like, just stop, like, we don't like it.
Yeah, when he started doing the whole, like, tweeting people going, get back in the kitchen and stuff, I'm like,
Yeah.
now he's working. Now he's
Yeah.
now he's working a gimmick. Now he knows this is getting a response, so
Yeah.
he's like, how can I double down on this? And now he's just trolling, like, it's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
And it's boring, because that's what every, like, 17-year-old boy who thinks he's witty will say, you know, like, it's boring.
Make me a sandwich. Keen, any thoughts on this? Any thoughts, Ad?
No.
You've kind of spoke about before where it's like, leave him alone, let him be himself. Like, do you think that he's kind of like crossing the line yet, or how's that kind of?
I don't know. Like, it is. I am entertained by the man. I'm not gonna lie, but Katie's point is very valid. Like, if he's genuinely pissing you off, stop fucking replying to him.
Yeah,
Like, that's literally his worst enemy right now. Is just silence.
Do you think a lot of it though is a lot of people don't actually care, and they're just, but they like to look like they care because it's like it gets some response or makes them look like a type of person, so they respond even though they don't care if they're feeding the beast, they don't care about the issues involved, and they just want to be like, I think this is wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a virtue signaler kind of.
I hate Jim Jordan. I hate him. And then, like, stuff
Yeah,
like that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I suppose. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really thought about Jim Cornette a lot over the last week.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
He's always doing shit. I don't really see.
Yeah.
Nothing
Like,
new.
what does this, how is this set aside from any of the other shit he's said or done?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. Like, yeah, but you know what I will say with Jim Cornette? That's gas. Can you hear his tweets?
Yeah.
I can, anytime I read his tweet, I can hear it visually. And, visually, what? I can hear it, whatever, audibly, whatever.
yeah.
And this is the thing. I actually love listening to Jim Cornette talk. I love his accent, and I love, like, the old school. Like, I know, like, he's
I think the woman needs to get back in the kitchen. Yeah.
from an entertainment.
I'm not saying, like, clearly, come on.
I just had to look around because I know what Rick means, but you know the other women here might not.
Don't know, yeah, but I'm sure they don't think I'm a southern, like, American. Like, come on. Oh, God. Anyway, look, yeah, okay. Jim, go off to the farm and play with Billy Graham. He'll love all this stuff, all right? Yeah, but until then, yeah, maybe let's Maybe let's forget about him. Let him be Jim. Anyway, look, guys, we're talking about some of the bad from the week. We're going to talk about the bad from the in-ring of the week, and then we're going to talk about the good because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for
Say something stupid.
First up, it's Say Something Stupid. One from Raw. So, and the reason this is low and Say Something Stupid is because it's like, it was actually kind of a touching moment. Rey Mysterio was backstage, and like Andrade beat him 2-0 last week, like we were saying, in the 2 out of 3 falls match. The week before, he tried to rip off his mask. He successfully ripped off his mask, but Rey was able to cover his face, and he's kind of beating him at will now. And Rey is giving a backstage interview, and it's like, well, what are you going to do? And then Rey's like, yeah, my family. He kept doing that whole thing that he was doing last week. And then he's like about to announce his retirement, and Dominic runs over. And then like Dominic, who's now like a big hipster, like not the cute kid we remember from SummerSlam 2004. It's just a big hipster.
Can you believe they actually hired Walter to play his son? How mad is that?
It's hipster Walter. He is hipster Walter. It's amazing. But yeah, he came in and he's like, oh, Dad, I always wanted to team with you. And then Ray's like, okay. But then they went in and had a hug. Now, that's all kind of touching. But then, I want you to go back. I want you to watch this clip again. To hug, they lock up. Okay? They literally do a collar and elbow lock up. They grab each other behind the head, and then they hold each other by the arms as well. It's literally, and it's weird. And then they do the lock up, and then they pull each other in while they're in a lock up position. I don't know if it's stupid. I'm not going to call it great. I'm not going to say it's one of the best things of the week, but it definitely deserves to be talked about. It definitely deserves to be noted and mentioned here, because it's weird. But also, kind of cool, but also kind of weird. And definitely not one of the best things of the week. So, that's number 6. And number 5, talk to me about the bad, first and foremost, a Trinity Brawl.
Yeah, Trinity Brawl happened this past Friday. Amazing show. I'll talk about it later. It was a mad concept. But, I mean, long story short, it took place in the mind of J Money. And who knew that J Money's mind was such a dark place, such a horrifying place? Because I saw something on Friday that really stuck with me. And it's just horrifying, basically. I know it was an 18 show. I think it was an 18 show. Was it an 18 show?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It was BYLB, yeah.
And it just made me uncomfortable because I saw Amy Alonzi say bad words on purpose. And I don't really know how else to elaborate on that. It was just really scary. I actually don't want to talk about it, but I felt like I had to mention it. So I'm going to stop talking about it. If you just want to talk about it, you can, but I just want to forget about it.
It feels like you need to talk about it, though. It feels like you have to.
She just said the F word.
How did that make you feel? Okay.
Call us all mother effers.
How did that make you feel?
Then she told us to shut the F up. It made me feel really shocked and sad and scared and uncomfortable. I called the guards. They didn't answer. They ghosted me. But it was. But I was really scared, and luckily I got to go home afterwards and try and forget about it. But it's hard to forget about. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think you'll ever be able to look at Amy Alonzi the same?
No, I'm scared to look at Amy
What
Alonzi.
would Amy Alonzi have to do to make this right now at this stage? Is there anything she could do?
I don't know.
If she apologised, would it help?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't want to see Amy Alonzi.
But see, this Amy Alonzi wasn't the Amy Alonzi you've seen on Friday.
Now, Keane, okay, we have a board here, okay? So there's Amy Alonzi in real life, and then there's Amy Alonzi in J Money's dreams, okay?
Yeah.
You saw the one in in J Money's dream, okay? Now, you're not going to go back to J Money's dream until Trinity Brawl 4. We've run out of ideas, okay? So you don't have to worry about that.
Trinity Brawl 3. It goes straight to number 4.
3, I'm still have ideas. 4, it'll be like, what do we do? Well, that one really worked. So you don't have to go back there. It's okay. Amy Alonzi is still nice and pure and kind, okay?
Right.
Do you think we can move on?
Okay.
So let's. Moving on to number 4. I watched NXT UK now. I drew the short end of the straw. Katie Harvey took over watching SmackDown just as I got class. And she's like, oh, do you want to watch NXT UK? It's really good. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to check that out. And then I'm like, oh, there's a reason she gave it up. It's not very good. It's not bad. It's just there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to NXT UK TakeOver in a few weeks, because remember how good the last one was. You know what I mean? On a one night thing, they have the talents to pull together a great show. So it's not even that. It's just there's a strong air of Vince isn't going to watch it anyway. You know what I mean? Why? Let's just go out here and all collect our WWE paychecks. You know what I mean? And it's not the lads' fault. It's just there's no kind of effort or direction. There's so many programs WWE are producing. It probably falls behind 205 Live in the priority list. You know what I mean? So it kind of stinks a bit of that. And what I kind of noticed was it feels like watching really good wrestlers do training matches. You know what I mean? And where it gets ironic is the entrances, because like the fans are just there. It's not a live takeover. It's also studio produced, so you get kind of the NXT kind of watered down crowd. Do you know what I mean? Even where like the mic levels are changed, so you're not getting the live effect. So like they're quieter, and then a wrestler comes out and does a coordinated entrance. It was more so noticeable with like the women's wrestlers, because they do have more coordinated wrestlers, whereas like the lads just come out and they're like, come on, or rah. Whereas like, and again, this isn't a criticism, it's like they put more effort in, you know what I mean? But when you're getting no reaction and you're doing a little dance on the stage and a little coordinated entrance, it's like, it looks like you're practicing your entrance. If there's no one reacting to it, and if you're not doing it to anyone, it looks like you're just practicing your entrance for William Regal. And that's what it kind of comes across as the whole show. And I'm going to watch it, especially going up to UK TakeOver. It's my job now to cover it. How did you get away with that, Katie Harvey?
It was really good when I watched it. No, like I said before when I watched it, my issue was like I watch these guys on the indies nearly every week.
Yeah.
And like to go from like Walter Devlin
Yeah.
like at WrestleRama to like watching like an 8-minute watered down version of that
Yeah.
is hard for me, because I've seen the big epic matches and storylines.
Yeah.
So I imagine it'd be the same if with American NXT, if I was going to their live shows and I'm seeing these like epic stories and matches live.
Yeah.
And then, well, we touched on this last week as well, where I think you mentioned that some people prefer live wrestling to TV now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely in that camp, like.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I prefer these people live.
And as well, though, it's just like, you're just overproducing the shit out of things that work naturally. So that's probably it. It's the WWE effect on these guys. And because they don't have, like, WWE care about actual NXT, so there's the bit of effort that goes in there that goes a long way, whereas you're just kind of getting the level of effort and care that goes into like the matches with like the kind of undercard matches on NXT, and that's kind of mainly the show except for the main event. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, why am I watching this? It's not a slight on anyone there. They have an amazing roster, and I think they're gonna put on a great show when it's live on the network for TakeOver, because it's gonna be motivated and it's gonna be built up matches. So I think that's gonna be fine. But the week to week, week one, it's already tough. Anyway, moving on. Try to do this without spoilers, but I do want to hear, because I haven't started watching. I've only finished Orange is the New Black, and I'm looking forward to Glow. So it's worrying that it's in here.
So there's not going to be any spoilers really, because I'm only on episode 3. But what I can say is that there has been no wrestling so far.
Oh no!
So I'm a little bit worried this is going to continue through the whole series, because what I loved about the first 2 episodes, not that the wrestling was like 5-star classics or WrestleMania matches, but it was such a unique thing to that show. And like, it's cool for me as a wrestler, like seeing that on TV, but also like, say my mom who watches it, who doesn't know about training and stuff, found it really interesting. Yeah. And now it's just very character and story based outside of the ring. So like, the last 2 seasons I binged in a weekend. This, I'm on episode 3, and I'm like, I'll watch an episode tonight, I'll watch an episode tomorrow. So like, it's still interesting and I still like it, but I am missing the wrestling in it. And I'm missing the cameos. Season 1, you had like Alex Riley. Yeah. Why did we have Alex Riley? I was delighted. I love Alex Riley, but like there hasn't been any of that so far. Yeah, there was an attention to detail in season 1 that I think that's what resonated with everyone who likes wrestling. People who worked in it, especially because there's little things like the wheelie bags and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's authentic. Yeah. That's what it's like. And that's a shame if they've gone away from that, because like even people who watch it, that's their experience with wrestling. So I have relatives, like you were saying, your ma, I have relatives who are like, they come to me and they talk about it to me because they're like, this is how I can connect with wrestling with you, because I don't watch Raw and SmackDown, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if they lose that, then it's just another drama. I wasn't interested in watching Glow at all. Like I've done too many things to see before watching Glow, but now that you mention Alex Riley, I might actually give it a shot. I'm Mikey, I'm listening, Oh, there's loads of cool little cameos. Like season 1, they have Chavo Guerrero play his dad, because his dad was the real life Glow trainer. like stuff like that. Those little Easter eggs, and he's wearing Zubas, and he's like coaching wrestling holds. Like I loved it. Like.
There was whole like episodes in season 1 dedicated to wrestling training.
Yeah.
Like full episodes,
Yeah.
like where it's like about them learning to wrestle, and it was like, oh my god, they're learning to bump. There's
Yeah.
a Netflix show which is really good and getting loads of attention, and an episode is about them learning to bump. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Like, it's awesome.
And they'd carry the character drama through the actual wrestling matches, and they'd show them.
Yeah.
And it was
It
really
built up
cool.
towards a wrestling match. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last season they did a whole. My favorite episode of Glow yet was last season, where they did a whole version. They let you watch Glow the TV show.
Yes.
And it was just like a full TV show of Glow. That was the whole episode.
Yeah.
And you watched it as if you were an audience member, and it's like, yes, this is what
it
I
was
want to
brilliant.
see. And but still, it was forwarding on the storylines that were in the show. It was, it'd be a massive shame if they lost.
I'm only
it.
on episode 3 though, so hopefully they're just
Yeah.
establishing the storylines.
Yeah.
Nothing can be that funny.
There's a bunch of children now walking in, the buskers, and stuff is happening.
There's a gang of children.
Yeah.
They're probably the only other wrestling fans in this place, in fairness. We could do like a collab or something.
They're going to hear us mention like John Cena, and the ears will prick up, and they'll be like,
Lads, it's Wednesday. Like, best bar to watch the match, though, guys. Best bar. Congrats, guys. Just made me not tape a podcast. Anyway, in at number 2, what's going on with Matt Taven?
Matt Taven had an interview with 411 Mania, I think it was. It was some website.
I
anyway.
used to write for them
Yeah.
back in the day.
No way.
When I was like 16, I wrote for them.
Mad.
I had a thing. I had a fictional wrestling column where it was like taking like a fictional look at real life events and kind of like trying to figure out like the story behind them. But obviously, I didn't know, so I'm just it's a prose piece, and I call it K Fables. There you go. Google it. 411 Mania.
Well, shout out to 411 Mania then. I do use that site a lot if I'm looking for like, recaps of shows. I forgot what happened and shit like that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, they interviewed Matt Taven, and they asked Matt Taven basically, I didn't see what the question was. It just says Matt Taven on critics. So critics who, complain about Ring of Honor because Ring of Honor obviously hasn't been the best lately and stuff like that. And Matt Taven's response to the critics is this. Have some balls. Actually, do something for yourself one time and go to a Ring of Honor show. Watch the shows, and you're gonna look really stupid for sleeping on Ring of Honor. That's your response. So if I am a critic to Ring of Honor, right? It's just basically, for me, it's the worst attempt at reverse psychology I've ever seen in my life. You hate Ring of Honor? What are you, some sort of pussy? What? I don't like what? I just don't like I'm not a big Ring of Honor fan. I don't know what you're like. I watched the last Ring of Honor. There were some good matches on it, but it wasn't that great. Like it was all right. Like I wouldn't be like, you need to watch this. You're all sleeping on it. It's it's grand. As somebody who watches it and has no hatred towards it or anything like that, it's a grand promotion. But I wouldn't really rip into anyone for not watching it.
You're not a pussy.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. Have some balls. We should have done that with Courage. I think we could have sold it at the stadium if we went around to everyone being like,
"Don't be a bitch."
You're not coming to Courage, are you? Some sort of bitch.
That would have been a show name. Oh man! Oh, so many missed opportunities. Courage Wrestling 6. Don't be a bitch.
I don't know why you said that basically, and I just thought it'd be funny. See, it's not something I got like a hot take on. I don't have an opinion on it. It's just like really dumb.
It is stupid. You have said something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. You've literally said something stupid.
Good stuff. So, but in at number 1, the most stupid. When I see something written in all caps in the little doc we have, I know that Katie Harvey is pissed. So, in at number 1 from SmackDown.
So, I love Shane McMahon, but this week was too much Shane McMahon. I know that is brand new information to both of you. This is my second attempt at this, guys. I just heard a pool cue drop behind me a few minutes ago, and I'm not joking. My stomach dropped. I thought it was like a warning from a child or something that was going to batter me. So
a child over there. You thought a child over there dropped the pool cue, and he's like, "I'm going to get that. I'm going to get her, specifically her. See with the microphone with her back to me, her. I'm going to attack her. As a child, I'm going to attack that woman."
I thought I was going to turn around and be staring at me, just tapping the cue in his hand or something. But that's not.
He's got all the motive in the world, clearly.
Yeah, maybe he's a big Shane McMahon fan. I don't know. Maybe he's upset I'm going to talk shit about him.
Oh, God.
So Shane McMahon fined Kevin Owens $100,000. And, like, basically the two segments were identical.
Yeah.
It was Kevin Owens appealing this decision and Shane McMahon being like, why? And him being like, I'm a father, you're a father, we're both fathers. Fathers shouldn't have to pay money because of fathering things. And, like, this is what I don't understand. The second segment was so identical. It was like they did the first one and then they were like, oh shit, you know what? I think we forgot a line or two. I think we forgot a bit of information. Let's just do it again. Because the first line of the second segment was literally like, I've called you back in here to say, and I'm like, you definitely just missed a cue in that first segment. I was just too much. And then again at the end, like the King of the Ring tournament, and like Shane comes out and it turns out he's the referee, and then Elias like rolls up Kevin Owens, and you know he's out of the King of the Ring tournament, and then like he's mentioned again in the 24/7 segment because like Elias has a letter like from his ma, but it's actually Shane McMahon saying he can't be pinned that night because of the 24-hour rules are suspended. I'm just like, for a 2-hour show, that's just too much reach by the same person. Like. And I've defended him before, being like, it's working, he's a heel, we're supposed to hate him, but it is just bordering now on like, no, it's too much. Like,
do you know what I hated about it as well? Like, Kevin Owens came back in and grovelled and had to apologise to Shane McMahon and had to basically grovel, and it's just like, okay, you don't have to make him Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I watched it and I'm like, did we ever see Stone Cold legitimately grovel? We probably saw him like mess around and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, oh, you are sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't punch you sooner. You know what I mean? That's what Austin would have done. And it's not that Kevin Owens has to be. He can be the first Kevin Owens. He doesn't have to do what Stone Cold used to do. But groveling when we're supposed to get behind him, it made him look so weak. I just didn't see the purpose of doing that. I just didn't see what they gained by that. Like, Shane McMahon looks like a bigger dick, but then you're cutting your balls off by having Kevin Owens look absolutely shit, like.
I didn't love it. Like, I just didn't love that whole thread of that storyline at all this week.
No, it was really bad. But look, it was a great week for wrestling, and we are going to talk about the good from it. And we're going to talk about that right now because it's time for... In number 6, the good from NXT UK. A lot of people were slagging this, and there is a gif out of here that is pretty embarrassing. But I liked the Walter training package. Now, it's only because I watched it all, and I got the point that they were going for. If you just watch that gif of him weekly chopping a trainee and the trainee dying, I see. Yeah, that is an unfortunate gif. But it was better than that. It was just cool to see. First off, it was at the WXW Training Academy, and they showed a clip of outside of the Training Academy, and it's just it's like showing a clip of outside Fight Factory. Do you know what I mean? And then they go inside and he's training the class and he's just a dickhead trainer, and it's just like, this is a new way of getting someone over as a heel. Do you know what I mean? But it's a real way, and it makes him look like an absolute dick. Like, he was choking guys out, and then he's like, are you Tyler? Say you're Tyler. Say you're Tyler Bate. He calls him Tyler Bate. Like, it's one word, like, and it sounds like Domestos or something. It sounds like a bleach. Tyler Bate. Get your Tyler Bate now. Clean all your toilets in 55 seconds. Tyler Bate.
That accent kind of curved there at the end of that impression from Walter.
It wasn't Walter. Like, it was just like a generic ad for Tyler Bate. Why would Walter do an ad for like Domestos? Tyler Bate, get your Tyler Bate. No, I can't do a Walter. I'm not going to do it. That's why I go into something I can't do. It was really good though, and it was just showed him as a bully, and I really liked it. And also the main event, which I really enjoyed. Ilya Dragunov hasn't got the memo yet. Nobody really gives a shit on NXT UK. So he's like being Ilya Dragunov. He's being himself like he is in WXW and on the Indies. Like, he's just being a fucking madman. So he was wrestling Cassius Ohno, and Ilya Dragunov is undefeated so far in NXT UK. Until now, Cassius Ohno won, and it's like, holy shit, this is a genuinely surprising result, because you're just, the whole match, you're just sure that Dragunov was winning, and it's like, oh, this is where the old guy puts the new guy. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it was really good. And I liked the twist. I just liked it that, like, Ono on NXT UK is kind of cool because it's like he can fit in here. Dragunov, like, it's just like Keane was saying about Goldberg and Ziggler. You know what I mean? If Ono is always just there to put the other guy over, it doesn't matter when he wrestles. And that's why he's kind of gone from NXT down to NXT UK. So to have him beat like someone in a significant match and get a significant result, it matters. Now, I'm following NXT UK to know if this has actually ruined Dragunov. But this is my first impression, so I don't care, and I found it really cool. Anyway, in at number 5, Keane, it was your birthday last week. Happy birthday again. And you spent it watching RevPro in the UK. How was it?
Yeah, it was grand.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it was good. Like I knew it wasn't going to be like, you know, like a WrestleMania type show, because they got their bigger show in a few weeks, Summer Sister. And it's a pretty good lineup for that. But what I wanted was decent wrestling on my birthday, and that's what I got. I've never been there. It was Cheltenham Town Hall. It looked pretty slick. They shouldn't be selling second row seats on the balcony up there, but besides that, it's a slick venue. But yeah, so the matches that just stood out to me basically were it was meant to be Haskins versus Chris Brooks and David Starr versus Speedball, but basically, I think it was El Fantasmo couldn't make it, so they had to like reshuffle all the card, and matches got mixed together and stuff. But we ended up with a triple threat of David Starr versus Speedball versus Haskins, which is a sexy match. I don't really need to elaborate on it because you see those three names. It is exactly what you expect it to be.
Nice.
A nice match where there's at one point, you know, Speedball, the way he does that like standing moonsault, but he lands on his knees. He did that to a wrestler that was lying on the ring apron, but the wrestler moved. I don't know if it was Starr or Haskins. They moved, and he landed knees first in the ring apron, and it was the loudest noise I've ever heard in my life. Disgusting.
Yeah.
But it was also it was a pretty good match.
Nice.
I also got to see, I think it might have been A-Kid's last RevPro match. Because I think he got signed by WWE, and they don't do RevPro, WWE crossovers.
Oh yeah, because they're the NJPW.
Yeah, he did that bow at the end of it. And he also split up with Carlos Romo. So the match was Team White Wolf imploding. It was him versus Carlos Romo, and the match was great. Again, that's why I assume that's like he wanted that to be his last match while he was what you call it? Yeah, my brain. I'm very easily distracted. My brain's falling asleep. But anyway, yeah, that was a deadly match. At one point, Carlos Romo ran and jumped off the stairs, but the stairs, they were like, obviously, like, they were a bit steep, but they were also kind of like, how do I explain it? Like, long. Do you know what I mean? And when he jumped, like, when he ran and jumped across the stairs, he got super kicked immediately upon impact, and it was the coolest shit ever.
Nice.
But yeah, great match. And I got to see Yushin Thunder Liger's last match outside of Japan, which was, not only was it a good match, but it was also just a spectacle.
Yeah.
But the highlight of the whole night for me was none of those matches. It was one fan from the balcony, not my balcony, some other like part further down. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him. It was very evident during the Pac Matt Sydal match, also the A-Kid match. But any match where there was a heel that he didn't like and the heel was doing something despicable, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This fan, the worst part about it for me is I can't explain it in words. I can't say he screamed at the top of his lungs. That doesn't do it justice. He like bellowed so fucking loud. Like the crowd were very quiet as well. Like it was a quiet enough crowd. So this lad stood out big time. And like at one point, like he'd do it like every like fucking couple of minutes or whatever, just out of nowhere. Boo! And at one point, Pac was beating the shit out of Matt Sydal, and he just hears your man, boo! And he was like, what the fuck? And looking up at him, it was, I don't know, the whole thing was gas, and
nice.
Yeah, it was a good experience. I liked it. I'm looking forward to Summer Sister.
You're gonna watch it, are you?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna go to it, obviously, but like I'll watch it. Yeah.
Nice, good stuff. Anyway, in at number 4, something random. They replayed this on Raw, a little bit of it, but I watched the full 6 minute. WWE basically did a 6 to 8 minute video of Drake Maverick going after Elias's 24/7 title, and just released on YouTube, and it was really fucking good because he got to have time and breathe, and it wasn't scripted or anything like that, and it was really well done. It was like he was in the car with his missus. And then, like, he just, like, gets out of the car when they arrive at Elias' studio or wherever it was. And then immediately starts stripping. And she's like, you could have changed in the car. And he's like, I can't change in the car. I'm going to get my 24/7 title back. It's like, it's brilliant. And then he goes in and, like, confronts Elias. who just beats the absolute piss out of him. It was fantastic entertaining. It's just instantly like Drake Maverick had zero chance, but he walked in and started the fight and got the piss beat out of him. And then they go into like a separate studio, except it's soundproof, so they're just looking at it through the mirror and there's no sound. But Elias is fucking pummeling him over and over and just soundless. It was fantastically entertaining. Check it out on WWE's YouTube. There's not much to it. It's just a funny 24/7 bit, and I'm totally up for more of this. So well done. Really big fan. Anyway, in at number 3, talk to me about 205 Live.
Yeah, 205 Live was a one-match show this week. I only watched it there today, and it was class. I love when shows that are only an hour long, like NXT or something like that, do one match that takes up the entire show, because it makes the match feel like a really big deal. 205 Live was a one-match show. Of course, this is, again, the first time you're hearing this. It basically, it was 5 versus 5, elimination, Team Gulak, Team Lorcan, and they had to pick their teams as well, and over the past week, they've been going member by member, who they're picking, why they're picking that member, and it was a Survivor Series style match. It was really good, and I love when shows only have one match on it, like it was a short show but a long match, because it makes the match feel very special.
Yeah.
And it also got every single person on the brand kind of... What happened?
Yeah,
Just distracted me. I was doing so well.
Yeah, he's getting smacked with ping pong balls. Not even an apology for it. Not
even me doing it
This is
either.
what you asked for
Yep.
by sitting where they came to play pool an hour after you sat down.
But,
I'm glad it's not a pool ball.
Oh, no,
Ping
yeah,
pong.
sorry, ping pong, yeah.
where was I?
205, it's a one-match show. It was really long.
They picked their partners.
They picked their partners.
Yeah, it was really good.
Who won?
I'd actually recommend watching it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Who
I
was
reckon
in the
it'll be
match?
good. Okay, on Team Oni, yeah? Akira Tozawa, Humberto Carrillo. Okay, I can't remember off the top of my head, right?
What? Alberto Del Rio.
No, Humberto Carrillo.
Oh.
Just, did you ever see Humberto Carrillo?
No.
Most people don't know who he is.
No, I don't.
Most people who actively watch WWE don't know who he is, which is interesting, because he only wrestles on 205 Live. You wouldn't know him from anywhere else. So it just goes to show how many people watch 205 Live if they don't know him, you know, kind of way.
Yeah.
But no, he is really good, and I recommend watching it. Yeah, cool.
Moving on, she tries to avoid the ping pong. Do you want to swap seats?
No, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm alert.
Yeah, like you look very anxious at this stage. I don't mind swapping seats.
No, I'm okay. I'm fine.
In at number 2, what did you like from SmackDown this week?
Oh, SmackDown. 2 things. Nakamura and that other person
Sami
who
Zayn.
I love. Sami Zayn. Nakamura.
I like it when you see Sami Zayn, he is in your brain as that other person that I love.
Yeah, I'm actually a big Sami Zayn fan, believe it or not. I know it doesn't seem like that. They are, Sami Zayn is his manager now.
Right.
They're not even a tag team. He's Nakamura's manager. They did a Miz TV, and Sami Zayn cut this really good promo about how he's very altruistic and he only wants to help people. So the first person who's going to help is Shinsuke Nakamura, because, you know, they're both struggling artists. They're both poets, you know.
Yeah.
They both need to express themselves. And he was like making funny little comments, like the Miz is trying to talk to Shinsuke, and he was like, "He's Japanese, Miz. Like, what language are you going to address him in?" But then he turns around and talks to him in English. You know, he just does that like little shit heel really well.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see where it goes. And it ended up with like Miz taking like Kinshasa and stuff like that to the head, which really annoyed me when the announcer called it a knee strike. I'm like, we've seen this enough. Like we know that's his finisher. Hype it up like it's his finisher.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was they revealed Roman Reigns' attacker.
I missed this somehow, and I watched most of SmackDown.
Oh.
I don't know how I missed it.
So I love when they thread something through an entire episode, you know, and they have little segments and they reference it all the way through. So there was a fantastic match between Buddy Murphy and Daniel Bryan, and Buddy Murphy won, which is deadly, his first big win.
Yeah.
And he's cutting a promo afterwards, and Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan attack him. They're beating the shit out of him, you know, and Daniel Bryan is just so good. So it's like, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. Like, you know, you've been telling lies. We have the truth, we have the truth. So the episode ends with Daniel Bryan telling Roman Reigns to come to the dressing room. They have his attacker. So Roman Reigns, we follow him to the dressing room and he walks in and like Daniel Bryan's there, very angry. Eric Rowan is there with an expression, I'm not sure what it is. And there's a guy with a bag over his head, just sitting there with his hands crossed. And he gives it all like, oh, we found your attacker. Like, we know who it is. This is him here. Like, and, you know, you tried to slander Eric Rowan's name and, you know, this is disgusting and terrible. This is who it is. And he pulls the bag off his head. And it's someone who looks vaguely like Eric Rowan.
Yeah, crew member, like.
As in, it is just a random person who we've never seen before who has a red beard. And that is the big reveal. And it's just the two of them looking at each other, Eric Rowan and this stranger looking at each other. And then they look up at Roman, and then they look back at each other. And Daniel Bryan's just standing there like, well, I told you. And that's the end of the episode.
No, you're not emphasising how funny this was. It was dead silence, but you could tell they're all trying not to laugh. You know they're in absolute bits in Rockshire. And Daniel Bryan is breathing so heavily, he's trying to laugh. He's like, it's like the funniest shit ever. And it all really bothers me. People are complaining about this on Twitter and stuff. This is not something to complain about. This obviously it's not the end of the storyline. Yeah. It's just a funny as fuck diversion, and I love it. And you know what? Because of the storyline, I can't wait for next week's SmackDown. I'm so excited for it. Like
Roman Reigns is just so confused by the whole thing. He actually looks like he's at the point where he doesn't give a shit who tried to kill him anymore. Yeah. He's just like, you know what? I don't even care.
From his perspective as well, it's like, it could be that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he could have very easily just went, oh wait, yeah, it did look like Eric Rowan actually. Yeah, it might have been him. Do you know what I mean?
But like, this guy is so clearly not even like a developmental wrestler. He's like definitely not coming into the fold.
He like tries to truck or something. Oh shit.
No, it's grand. We've just been there all night.
What call it? No, yeah, grand.
Your life flashed before my eyes right there. He just really got hit in the head with a ping pong ball.
It's a lot funnier when you get hit in the head. But I mean, I'll keep going. Like.
You're such a professional. You were just ready to finish
that bro, not distracted at all. You were saying.
But yeah, that was the
end
of
point.
Oh,
you got the
yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
He's getting traumatized here tonight. Jeez, between that and Amy Alonso, like, jeez.
I know, Amy
Alonso. It was the man's birthday, for crying out loud, like.
Yeah.
This is what 21 is all about.
I know, I'm not ready. I don't like
what happens. You get hit a lot.
I'm getting pelted in this spot, man.
It's ping pong balls flying at your head and you just trying to dodge them.
I know.
I'm
saving it until the end. I don't know.
We should just say no, we don't have it.
I'm going to swallow it.
But yeah, no, anyway, look. In our number one, what we all came here to talk about. In our number one is Justy for weeks has got on to us about how we haven't been talking about him. We've tried to even get him pity mentions in and just every now and then just say, Justy. Finally, he went out and did something that is the best thing of the week. And we're going to talk about him a lot now. And J Money and everyone else in Irish wrestling, because one of the best moments of Irish wrestling happened last week. And ladies and gentlemen, in number one, Trinity Brawl.
Oh yeah, so Trinity Brawl was last Friday in Trinity, and it brawled. It was amazing. But the concept of the show was one of the best things I've ever seen, and I don't really know where to begin. I feel like I'm gonna get very distracted. I'm not gonna do it justice. So do one of you want to take the reins and explain exactly what the concept of it was?
The show started, and okay, I want to go into kind of my experience with Trinity Brawl. I heard whispers about what was going down beforehand. A lot of people in Irish wrestling did. It was kind of an open secret that this is what was being thrown around. And I was like, is this actually going to happen? Now there's beeping. Now, of course, there's beeping. I heard whispers about what was going to go down. And to be honest, I had my doubts. I'll be straight up about that. But the one thing, and you guys can verify this, the one thing I did say is that I trusted the lads and I trusted their judgment, and if they thought it was a good idea, I'd go with it and give it a shot. So, started off, J Money comes out, says, what is it? Like, it's going to get a bit wild tonight, but we can't do anything too crazy. Then Justy comes on, does a promo on the screen, and then Billy Bedlam, or is it officially Billy Bedlam?
I mean, I assume it was. I mean, he had Billy Bedlam's face.
Was that real? I can't remember what was real and what wasn't. That was real.
Oh, that was. Sorry, yes, that was real.
That happened. Okay.
That.
Jay Money comes out. Billy Bedlam. Okay. Yeah, it was real life. Returned from retirement. Or was that return? What? Like, was that? Could we count that as a comeback?
A blip in retirement.
A blip in retirement, like a Shawn Michaels Saudi Arabian tag team match, right?
He retired from Phoenix. He didn't retire from wrestling as a whole.
Right. I know. There's so many questions from this show. And knocked Jay Money out with a chair shot. Jay Money suffered from semi-permanent mind damage.
Semi-permanent mind damage,
which as well.
Serious condition, I don't want to parry it. Like.
It's no joke.
I don't know if you've seen the video release.
Yeah.
I'm glad they highlighted it.
Exactly. It is no, but it was for a good cause. The show. And raised awareness for a very serious issue. So Jay Money suffered from semi-permanent mind damage, and the rest of the show, if you weren't there, took place inside Jay Money's head. And I know what you're thinking. I don't know about that, lads. It was maybe the best Irish wrestling show I've ever been to. It was fantastic, every bit of it. The best part was how the reality of the show was almost as mental as the concept itself. So TV's Jack Gleason, aka Joffrey from Game of Thrones, ended up showing up and then playing a pixie called Jinxie, who was guiding. He was I don't know, what would you describe it? A spirit guide, kind of in the angel in It's a Wonderful Life, or kind of what other story did they have that kind of thing?
Like Scrooge.
Scrooge, exactly. Yeah. So he's helping Jay Money throughout this, and the best part was half of the people in attendance didn't realize that it was Joffrey. And slowly, there wasn't a big reveal until the end, and they were just who's that guy and why is he here? I'm one of the most famous people in the world, but he's in makeup. It was mental. Think about this. One of the people who was one of the most talked about things on the biggest TV show that ever existed, and also was in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, was dancing on stage dressed as a pixie at one stage in dancing to Club Rock Shandy's theme song. That's mental. That happened, and we were there for it. What is life? It was one of those shows where there was matches wrestled where Jay Money had to regain his charisma, and every time his champions would fight kind of champions who wanted to take his wrestling ability away from him, so he couldn't wake up from his semi-permanent mind damage. And it sounds mental, but fuck it, whatever they do, wherever they release that, you need to check that out, because it was amazing. And then the audience as well, here's the best part about it, the audience were just so into it. They were just so it was the Tivoli at peak atmosphere, but it was Angel Cruisers versus British Strong Style, except a show. You know what I mean? It was 2 hours of that, and the audience were that up for everything they went with. For example, at one stage, TV's Jack Gleason just turned around and said, he's got the key, and then it's just the whole night. Every time someone said the word key, the crowd was just the key. It was amazing. And then, you got to see, we talked earlier about it, Amy Alonzi as a heel. You got to see things that were completely different and that we'd never see on any show.
I know we were upset about Amy Alonzi swearing, but guys, Big Rab.
That was so cool.
Dark Rab.
Rob Queens.
Oh, wait, Rob Queens, yeah.
Rob Queens.
I didn't think what I said about there. Sorry, Rob. Didn't mean how it sounded.
Rob Queens. I was quite shocked at that, because I've never seen that side of him.
Sorry, it's a weird show.
I've never seen that side of him. That was my favourite match of the night.
Yes.
Was Rock Shandy against Big Rab and Debbie Keitel. It's just manic. That is the only word to describe the entire match, was manic.
Do you know what I fucking loved about it was the unboxing element. We never had a full-on unboxing show in Ireland ever before. Well, I don't know ever, but certainly since I've started coming to shows, and this was that. Except it wasn't just who's coming out. No, we couldn't just get a wrestler. We had to summon a wrestler. If we didn't summon any wrestlers that night, nobody was coming out. So it was it was basically that, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing, and such a credit, such a risk from the lads. Like, that's Trinity fucking College. They had to rent out the Players Theatre. Like, it's no small feat. They came in with a bunch of matches unannounced, and they had great matches. Valkyrie against Alexander Dean, Rory Gulak against Michael May. Like, they'd imports on this show.
And like another great little notch on the belt of Andy Steele and Owen Richards as a tag team. Just flawless.
Amazing
I loved
tag
it.
Team.
Steal Your Destiny, I think, is going to go far.
Yeah,
Tag
Andy
team of the
Steele
year.
is unreal. Phenomenal tag team.
Tag team of the year for me. They are the best tag team of the year, and like, yeah, such amazing tag team work from a fantastic tag team. So well done to the lads. And then at the end, it just got even more surreal somehow, where it's like Jay Money eventually wakes up and they have the match with Justy finally, and then it lasts 6 seconds, and then TV's Jack Leeson comes out as TV's Jack Leeson. You've seen this clip. It was on Pro Wrestling Sheet. They released this clip online because GG are like slowly editing the show. Joffrey he's Joffrey, right? Joffrey comes out. It makes sense within the content. He comes out and says, Jay Money, you haven't been asleep for 5 minutes. And then someone shouts out, the perfect heckle. Someone goes, 3 seasons. Genius. Joffrey turns around and goes, 4 actually. Then he goes, you've been asleep for 5 months. It's December 24th and these people need to get back home for Christmas. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You comes on, and then all the wrestlers come out and dance to it. It was surreal. It was amazing. It was perfect. It was one of the most fun I've ever had at a wrestling show, watching a wrestling show. It was genius. It was
very good.
It was perfect. We can't do it justice. It was what it was. It was fantastic. And credit to Jay Money, Justy as well. And then like all the crew, it was a whole team effort. Justy put out, or Jay Money put out, like basically a credit to the people who were kind of responsible for writing it. Be Cool as well, heavily involved. Jack Leeson helped in the writing and production of it as well. Like, it was a whole team effort. So massive credit to everyone involved in pulling off an absolute masterpiece, and totally unexpected. Like, no one had this penciled into their calendars. It was just like, yeah, sure, I'll go to that. I'm around. Like, and then it just ended up being perfect. It was brilliant. Anyway, guys, we are just 10 days away from All Out and versus NXT UK Takeover in the best match to watch, the best bar to watch the match. Buskers on the Ball on Saturday the 31st of August. Guys, tonight's going to go like this. New Japan Royal Quest will be on from 5 p.m. completely 100% free to all who want to come down and check that out. The main party starts at 8 p.m. at NXT UK Takeover. And I'm just thinking this week, I'm like, could we see some familiar faces who partied with us before show up? I'm just saying, this isn't a hint, by the way. I don't know shit, and I don't want to know shit. And I've told people like Katie Harvey and anyone else who might hear shit, don't tell me anything, because if someone I know shows up on NXT UK Takeover, I want to pop like everyone else. So that's something that we have to take into account as well. Spoilers!
Sorry.
The Andy Steelers. Like, on screen, like, the Andy Steelers show up with the Andy Steelers underneath them, and then Owen Richards doesn't realise this is happening. And it's like, yes, you got signed, but as a tag team.
I would pop so hard if the low bar interfered in the main event to beat the shit out of Walter. Do you know what? I would cheer them on. I would. It'd be great.
And then, of course, we will have AEW All Out live and in full on Friday from midnight. Also, guys, we will have retro gaming and pool back. We will have a Crash Team Racing tournament right here in Buskers on the Ball. Plus, in pool, here is the announcement. Guys, your honeymoon phase is officially over. Katie Harvey, your mouth has written checks that your ass may not be able to cash. You have talked your way into your first title offense because we've negotiated something we discussed last week, and we've agreed that at AEW versus NXT UK Takeover in Buskers on the Ball, the Woke Cians will defend their Low Blows Pool Tag Team Championship for the first time against a team who can call themselves the unofficial Irish Pool Tag Team Champions, Irish Wrestling Pool Tag Team Champions for years now. They consist of the Low Blows Pool Champion Butch and Oren Joyce. So it will be champion versus champions. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because if Butch wins, he's the champ. However, if you guys successfully retain your Low Blows Pool Tag Team Champions, the person who hits the black will get an instant Low Blows Pool Championship shot. So one of you could leave All Out as the champ. How are we feeling, guys?
That's me.
I'm looking forward to walking out as double champ. It's going to be great.
I think I'd be a really good champ.
Okay, this is interesting. Well, guys, look, it's very simple. Pot the black, win the match. There's your motivation.
Okay. It's good motivation to carry Keane through another pool match.
I'm just not gonna respond to that, because if I respond to that, it just validates. Like, I don't even want to give it that level of validation where, like, I'm just gonna Jim Cornette it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna not ignore it. I'm gonna ignore it, not respond to it, and it'll just go away. We all know I carried Katie in the last match, and that's all that needs to be said.
Am I Jim Cornette?
Yeah, in this situation, I'm phasing you. I'm ignoring you, so you just don't say things like that.
Guys, this week tickets are available. Eventbrite.ie to be there. It's going to be our big summer blowout. It's going to be class. We cannot wait. Guys, this week on the Lobos Network, Frank and John from the USS Cuchulainn joined Jerry on Talk Nerdy to me to discuss Star Trek. Next week, I'm going to be making an appearance on it to talk about Quentin Tarantino. I'm really looking forward to that show. Kigo talks about why he was surprised The Rock got married on this week on the Couch Corner podcast. Plus, we will have Ask Low Blows with our brand new host. Congratulations, Corporate Keane. You're taking over like the NWO. Ask Low Blows after a really successful show last week. We will have that still to come later in the week, so stay tuned for that. But until then, we are just about out of time, and we are going to get the fuck out of the way of ping pong balls, guys. Sorry if you sound distracted. Sorry if the noise has been a bit intense at times. But we'll be back next week. Until then, Katie, what are you up to this weekend?
I am going to Belgium to coach a wrestling seminar.
Oh,
I
didn't think you'd have a plug. Oh, that was ironic. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh wow, thanks.
Oh, you're just injured.
Myself and Phil are going to FWF, which is Phil's actually their champion at the moment. It's the place I wrestle a lot. So we're going over for a 2-day camp, and we're going to watch one of their shows. And help the guys agent matches and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
This is the fun side of things that I've been able to get into being injured.
Nice.
So I'm very excited. Also, they have a thing called Spaghetti Giovanni over there, right? That's spaghetti bolognese, right, with ham, cheese, and egg cracked over the top and then baked in the oven.
I thought it was spaghetti, except Giovanni from Bronkhorst's face was the bolognese. He's an old footballer.
What?
Do you even know Giovanni from Bronkhorst?
No.
Look him up, he's really good. You like him. You'll be into it.
Remember to tell all the trainees that the goal is just to do the opening match and then leave.
Is this you guys undoing the damage from that? Corporate Keane, what's going on? When can we expect you back on YouTube? By the way, how's your beef going? You're beefing all over the place.
Nope. Yeah, but no, I'll be back on Tuesday. I don't know. I can't do the maths. What day is today? Wednesday? So next Tuesday I shall have a video out.
All right. Okay.
I don't want to say what it is because I don't know if I'll end up doing it or not. You know, because I'm very early on into it, so it could end up being shit, and I might have to scrap it last second. But there will be a video on Tuesday, hopefully.
Okay. Good stuff. All right, guys. Until then, we will be back on Friday with Corporate Keane as the brand new host of Ask Low Blows. But until then, for Rick Nash, for Corporate Keane, for Katie Harvey, that's the bottom line because Low Blows said so.